Grace and peace, everyone. I pray that you're having a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, wherever you are around the world. I came on today to encourage you, to empower you. I came on today to give you some information that you may or may not know about. We walk past 1 million people a year and not knowing there are people that are hurting. We walk in the stores, we are in school buildings, we are at work, not knowing the people that we're sitting next to are hurting, not knowing the people that we communicate on a daily basis are hurting. We don't even know if our supervisors or managers or co-workers or co-laborers are hurting because of something that is affecting their mind, their family, their body. We're working in a hospital, in a nursing home. We are going to see police officers. We're going to see firemen and women, not knowing that they are hurting. We are going to schools, not knowing the children, the staff members, even the superintendent, to the security guard are hurting. So I came on just for a few moments to empower you, to encourage you, and to talk about several things that what people may be dealing with or maybe having a challenge with. We have to be very careful that we are, when we're in relationships or when we're in friendships or when we're in business partnerships, that we are not the cause of a failed connection. We are not the cause of a failed business plan. We have to make sure that if we are the failed person or individual, that we get whatever we need to get right. Some people are dealing with mental health issues and we don't even know it. Some people have been abused or neglected and we don't even know what they're dealing with because they are afraid to speak to us. But they're speaking anger and think we can identify what they're going through. That is a call for help. So I come just to empower somebody, just to talk to somebody. Maybe this will help you with my education, with my knowledge. Maybe this won't help you. Maybe this will help you to identify someone is really crying out for help out of anger. I come to talk a little bit about a few issues, and those issues today is mental health. People are dealing with mental health issues, whether it's mental health, whether it's suicidal thoughts, whether it's oppression and depression, whether it's committing suicide. People can come to school, go to work, be in church. It can be your boss, it can be a co-laborer, it can be a supervisor, it can be a manager, it can be a regional manager, it can be a mother, father that have some mental health issues. Some you can identify and some you can't identify. Some people have mental health issues that are crying out in anger, but not saying, I need help. I have an issue. I can't do this on my own. Some people will cry out in anger and throw a tantrum or say no to this or no to that. And really that is a cry for help. Sometimes we want to just brush it off and say, just seek God, or say, just talk to yourself or talk to a loved one. But really they need professional help that can try and get them through. But let's be honest, if they don't tell the truth, how can they receive all the help that they can get? Doctors are only there to help you based upon what you tell them or what they may see. But they don't live with you, they don't stay with you, they don't see you on a daily basis. So they don't know if you're lying to them or not. They don't know if this is really going on or not, or if it got worse, or if it's better. They need to diagnose you based on your trustworthiness. If they can't trust you, how can they treat you? I come to talk about single parents in the home raising children. That can have an effect on both the parents and the children. And sometimes, as if you have ever been a single parent for a short term or long term, then you know the effects that it can cause on your mental health. It can cause with your children day-to-day activity, how they are in school, how they react to certain things. And being a single parent, raising one child or raising multiple children, that can be challenging. It can be challenging in a way where you just need a break, but you can't get it because you have no family support. You have no friends to support you. Maybe you need that day alone to yourself, but you can't get it because you have no family support. You don't have a support system that can say, I'll take your kids for this week to give you a break, or I'll take them for a day to give you this break. And let's be honest, it is challenging living every day, but living as a single parent can be challenging. Two parents in a home can be challenging at times, but the main focus is a single parent raising her or his babies, children, by themselves. Let's not talk about working as a single parent, trying to make it home before the kids get home from school, trying to get a day off when there's no school. That is challenging. And sometimes we feel as though the system has failed us. Sometimes we feel as though, when am I going to get a break from my kids? Calling mommy, mommy, mommy all day long. Daddy, daddy, daddy all day long. Sometimes things can be challenging. Paying the bills by yourself, raising your children by yourself, not having the proper transportation, but you have to take public transportation. Or if you got your own transportation, gas, insurance, getting your kids up early in the morning, getting yourself up early in the morning with no help, getting your kids to school, you getting to work, getting out of work at a decent time to receive your babies from school off the bus or picking them up. Not stating that if they get sick, you have to leave your job early. Your work is not even complete yet. Your manager or boss is down your throat by completing your work. Or why you don't have a babysitter. Some of those things can have a lifetime effect, short-term effect on your mental stats, because you want to do everything you can do in your power, in your might. But some things are challenging. Sometimes you might just want to give up. Sometimes you might just want to quit. But I came on today to say, continue to run the race. You're doing an excellent job. You are able to run the race that was given to you. Don't give up on your kids. Don't give up on your family. Don't give up on yourself. Deal with that challenging season in your life. Let the enemy know that you are not a quitter, but you are a winner. Sometimes you got to look at yourself in the mirror and repeat, I am a winner. I can complete this task. I can do this. There's more with me than against me. And sometimes it may feel as though there are more against you than they are with you. But if God is with you, who can be against you? Sometimes you got to cry out to your family members and say, I need help. Sometimes you got to cry out to your friends and say, I need help. Sometimes it's not going to be an easy road. I get it. Sometimes you want to cry in front of your kids. I get it. But you got to put that strong person face on in front of your kids. Wait until they're asleep and just cry out and say, I can do this. Cry out to God and say, God, if you gave me this task, I can't quit. I have to win. Sometimes having an absent parent in the home is hurting both the custodial parent and the children, because they wonder where mommy is, where's daddy, why they're not together. Daddy don't love us, mommy don't love us, they're not here. Then the questions from the children come to the parents, daddy, where's mommy? Mommy, where's daddy? And sometimes you're going to have to tell them a short lie to cover the absent parent faults. Sometimes you're going to have to tell them the truth. Whether the absent parent is in drugs, gave up on life, living in the street, was afraid to be a family, was afraid to faced challenges, was afraid of that uncomfortable situation, because being a family for the first time is uncomfortable because you're not used to it, or it may be hard for you to challenge or to grip to it. Sometimes people don't got the mental stability to be a family. They wasn't raised with their whole family, mom and dad, siblings. So they're afraid that they don't think they're good enough. They're not used to having a family. They're afraid of new paths in life. Sometimes you gotta go to that absent parent and say, we can do this together. A family that prays together stays together. Sometimes that absent parent wasn't meant to be a family with you. Maybe God has somebody else for you. Maybe God has somebody else for your child. Sometimes we look at challenges as a failure, but I come to give you some good news. You're not a failure. I come to give you some excellent news. You can do this all by yourself. I come to give you some good news. Thank God that you have both parents in your life. Thank God that you have all your children in your life. Because every family takes different paths in life. Some children are raised by themselves with both parents. Some are raised with one parent. Some children are raised in foster care system while the foster parents are abusing them and neglecting them. And the system closes a blind eye to them. Some children are being raised in cars, sleeping in the woods. Some children are being raised by grandparents and great-grandparents. Some children are being raised by both parents or no parents, or lost their parents in death. The next time you pass somebody in the street, at school, at a store, in church, you will never understand their story unless they sat down and spoke to you about it. Unless they sat down and expressed their life story to you. Because it's not easy walking in somebody else's shoes. It's not easy walking with someone who sleeps in the woods at night, in the rain, in the snow, in the blizzard, but look like they got all their self together. Look like when they come to church they're the happiest person, but not knowing they're going back to the woods to sleep. Not knowing they did not eat that night, but they came to church and they got a word from the Lord saying, this too shall pass. That's why they was dancing, because the Lord confirmed some things. That's why they was shouting so much, because the Lord confirmed some things to them. We have no idea how many children are sleeping in cars that will come to school or church for the heat, because when they go back home, they're going back home to a cold car. They're going back home to no food in that car, no blanket in that car. They're going back home so their mom and dad can yell at them. But when they come into the school or church, somebody's saying, I love you. Somebody's saying, are you okay? And they're just saying, yes, I am. But really, they're hurting inside. Somebody's saying, you're doing a great job. Keep on going. That single parent that sleep in the woods, that prostitute at night, but coming to church like she got herself together. The pimp that's trying to make ends meet for his children, that don't want to be in the street, come to church, that sits on a deacon board, that's hurting inside, that want to seek God for everything. God just turned my life around. We have no idea how many people we pass a day. And out of all the people we pass a day, how many people do we minister to? Versus how many people do we save their soul and introduce them to Christ? Abused individuals, physically, mentally, verbally, man or female, child or adult, youth or senior citizen, You know somebody that's been abused somewhere in life, mistreated, talked about, stabbed in the back. Friends became enemies and enemies became friends. Homelessness is a serious issue. Some homeless people don't want to give their personal information to the public assistance agency, so they rather live in the woods, sleep in their cars, walk back and forth from this street to this street to this town to this town. Children in the foster care system are being abused. How many people do you know and you don't even know they're being abused? Or you don't know that are homeless? Or you don't know that they're individuals that are being abused and neglected? Abuse could play two parts. The abuser and the victim, and then the victim becomes the abuser. Sometimes we don't want to talk about that. Sometimes we don't want to talk about the children that are sleeping in cars with their parents, that never hear from their family member, I love you. But when they get to church or they get to school, they hear the word, I love you. They go back to their cars with their lunch in their book bags. Eat some for lunch in school and eat some for dinner. Because their parents don't get food stamps, they don't work, they don't have cash. Eating out of garbages. They all go to McDonald's just to take the meal home, to split it between all 16 of their siblings. The food from 7-Eleven is being thrown in the garbage that are donated to churches or to the homeless. Kids sleeping in cars just to go to school and church for the heat. Just for the pastor to point them out and say, God loves you. Just for the teacher or superintendent to say, you're doing a good job. Keep up the good work. Not knowing that child's going back home. That child may be saying, I don't have no money for $1 snack, but I'm hungry. We have so many people hurting, and we don't even realize they are crying out for help, but in silence. These are some of the issues that advocates in your community, pastors in your community, politicians in your community, social workers in your community, psychiatrists in your community should be able to identify. As I work close with DA officers, police precincts, politicians, social workers, ACS and CPS, county executives, mayors, correction officers, school districts, board members, board of directors, superintendents, school teachers. I can identify, or I should identify, just like you should identify. Pastors, evangelists, ministers, first ladies should be able to identify what's going on in their community that they serve. Communities are hurting. Some people are crying out loud, and some people are crying in silence. How can we say we're community ambassadors, community advocates, social workers, school teachers? We have license for this, we have certificates for this, and we can't even identify people that are hurting that we're passing. People that are in our classrooms, in our churches that are hurting. I come on to empower you on today. The next time you see that loved one, the next time you see that person, tell them they're loved. Let them know that God loves them. Let them know that they're doing an excellent job. Talk to them. Get to know them. Ask them how they're doing, what they want to be when they grow up, what they want to accomplish next year, in 5 years, in 10 years. A conversation can go a long way. You might be the rescue of someone who's living in that dark place. You might be that school teacher, that pastor. You might be that first lady or that superintendent at the school. You might be that social worker, or you might be that evangelist that will help somebody get through their day, get through their week, get through their month, or even get through their year. You might be able to be the resource to that parent finding a job. You might be the resource to that person living in the woods that can get on DSS, that can get a job, that can find that room to rent, that apartment that they've been waiting on. That single parent that's been waiting on that apartment, that moved from the shelter to an apartment. That 2-parent household that's been struggling with no job, now they got 2 or 3 jobs. You might be the connection to someone getting out of poverty. I hope I empowered you today. I hope you was blessed on today. I hope you will be able to identify someone that's crying out in silence. Again, I came on to empower you, to educate you, to let you know what some people may be dealing with. Again, be encouraged, be empowered, and know while your feet are planted on this earth, while you was born, you was here, you're in this earth for a reason. You might be on assignment. God bless you. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy your night. Be empowered. And God bless you.